Welcome to the Fresno City College Psychology Department's video tutorial on operant conditioning, when there are numerous and varied consequences for the same behavior. This video assumes that you are already familiar with the basics of operant conditioning, but I will start with a brief review to jog your memory. Let's start with the basic definition of operant conditioning, also sometimes referred to as instrumental learning. Voluntary behaviors are learned as the result of the association of a behavior with its consequences. Operant conditioning is rooted in Thorndikes Law of effect, which basically states that behaviors followed by satisfying consequences are more likely to be repeated, and behaviors followed by discomfort are less likely to be repeated. Sounds reasonable, right? And I am assuming that you remember that when behavior is more likely to be repeated, we use the term reinforcement. And when behavior is less likely to be repeated, we use the term punishment. But what happens when a single behavior has multiple consequences? When some of the consequences are satisfying and some cause discomfort. Just in case you need a little help remembering all four consequences of behavior, let's review those quickly too. When a behavior is positively reinforced, behavior is likely to be repeated due to the presentation of a present stimulus following that behavior. When a behavior is positively punished, behavior is not likely to be repeated due to the presentation of an unpleasant stimulus following that behavior. When a behavior is negatively reinforced, behavior is likely to be repeated due to the removal or avoidance of an unpleasant stimulus following that behavior. And when a behavior is negatively punished, behavior is not likely to be repeated due to the removal of a pleasant stimulus following that behavior. Now you remember, right? Right. In one of my previous videos, I suggested that a woman would be more likely to wear headscarves if she received compliments on her new look. But what if her coworkers complimented her, but her partner said it looked stupid? Now she has received positive reinforcement and positive punishment for the same behavior. What will she do? The simplest answer to that question is it depends. Maybe she'll wear it to work, but won't wear it around her partner. The setting in which the behavior occurs is of course critical in predicting when and where the behavior is likely or not likely to be repeated. Also in one of my previous videos, I suggested that almost ruining a friendship after gossiping behind the friend's back is an example of negative punishment. Future gossiping is not likely to occur due to the friend pulling away following the gossipy behavior. But what if, when she gossips, by joining in with the group, she is able to avoid getting picked on by that group herself? She repeated the behavior of gossiping because it allowed her to avoid being gossiped about. In other words, she was being negatively reinforced for gossiping by her coworkers and negatively punished for it by her friend at the same time. We can complicate it even more by adding that when she gossips, she also is positively reinforced with added attention from attractive coworkers. I've illustrated 3 different consequences for the same gossipy behavior. Of course, we could come up with more consequences and fit them in the boxes too. Life is messy. Operant conditioning is complex. One of the most complicated behaviors is substance abuse. Before we conclude, let's fill in the boxes with some examples for consuming alcohol. Positive reinforcement. It's fun and social and causes euphoria. Negative reinforcement. It reduces stress and social anxiety. Positive punishment. It causes a headache, nausea, and other physical ailments. Negative punishment. It could result in the loss of freedom due to arrest, the loss of a driver's license, the loss of relationships, and other losses. These are just a few of the possible consequences for consuming alcohol. I have no doubt that you can think of more. There are often numerous and varied consequences for the same behavior. Operant conditioning is complex. Obviously, there will be a push and pull to drink or not to drink alcohol, and we have not even considered cognitive, social, cultural, biological, and genetic factors. Life is messy, and human behavior is complicated. This concludes the Fresno City College Psychology Department's video tutorial on operant conditioning when there are numerous and varied consequences for the same behavior. Do you have questions? Please do not hesitate to ask for assistance.